Oh my god, guys, Game of Thrones could have been completely different. UK HarperCollins has on display a letter sent by George R.R. Martin to his publisher in 1993 that outlines his trilogy. And yeah, it's different from what we know. Alright, I'm about to talk about what's in this letter, and certain things may change, and in fact some already have, but if you haven't already guessed, there are potential spoilers ahead. I'm going to try to avoid any major ones, but still, spoilers. 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 Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. It might ruin things. You've been warned. So like I said, originally it was going to be a trilogy, so obviously it's transformed and bloated quite a bit since old Georgie sent this pitch in back in 1993. Without further ado, here is what is in the letter. The Dothraki invasion of the Seven Kingdoms was supposed to happen in the second book, entitled Dance with Dragons. This is the title of the most recent book. It's the fifth one. The White Walkers finally attacking Westeros would happen in the third book, Winds of Winter. This is the name of the forthcoming sixth book in the series. For this book, he talks about a final battle that is going to draw together all the characters and plot threads left from the previous books and resolve everything in one huge climax. The sixth book is currently looking to be the sixth of 8, provided we ever even get that far. Sansa actually weds Joffrey Lannister, Baratheon, and gives birth to a son, and thereby an actual heir to the throne, instead of these guys, and Dany. Sansa ends up choosing her husband and child over her parents and siblings, which, apparently, she later regrets. Tyrion, meanwhile, having befriended both Sansa and Arya, grows more and more disenchanted with his own family. Robb still rebels after his father is sentenced to death by Joffrey, has a couple of splendid victories. He then maims Joffrey on the battlefield, if only, and is eventually unable to stand against Jaime and Tyrion Lannister and their allies. Robb Stark then dies in battle, and then Tyrion, you know, the one that's now buds with Robb's sisters, yeah, he besieges and burns Winterfell. That's a change. With Winterfell under siege, Catelyn Stark then flees to the north with Bronn and Arya. The lions chase the wolves to the wall, where Jon and Benjen are unable to help because they've given up their families when they took the Black. This leads to a bitter estrangement between Jon and Bran. Arya, however, is more forgiving, and she falls in love with Jon, her half-brother who is sworn to celibacy. Yep. Their passion torments them throughout the trilogy. Trilogy. It torments them until the secret of Jon's true parentage is finally revealed in the last book. Hopefully we'll actually get to the last book. There are actually a ton of theories of Jon Snow's true parentage, but that's for another video. Abandoned by the Night's Watch, Catelyn, Arya, and Bran go beyond the wall in search for safety, but they fall into the hands of Mance Rayder. Then Catelyn dies at the hands of the White Walkers. No wedding at all. Meanwhile, Daenerys Targaryen discovers that her husband doesn't really want to invade Westeros. Khal Drogo kills Viserys for being a whiny little jackwagon about wanting to invade. That doesn't change. But sometime after he does, Daenerys avenges her brother by killing Khal Drogo herself. She then flees and stumbles on a cache of dragon eggs. Her baby dragon, singular, then gives her the power to bend the Dothraki to her will. So she then plans her invasion of the Seven Kingdoms. Back in Westeros, Tyrion kills Joffrey because he's a little douche nozzle. With Joffrey gone, Jaime obtains the throne by killing everyone ahead of him in the line of succession, and then blames Tyrion for all the deaths. After being exiled, Tyrion switches sides and then joins the surviving Starks to bring his brother down. He then falls in love with Arya, because why not? This goes unrequited and leads to a deadly rivalry between Tyrion and Jon Snow, because Jon Snow has the love of his sister. Whatever. George wrote, "I want the reader to feel that no one is ever completely safe, not even the characters who seem to be the heroes. The suspense always ratchets up a notch when you know that any character can die at any time." Good to know that some things didn't change. Thanks, George. Also in the letter, he explicitly states that 5 central characters will make it through all 3 books. Tyrion Lannister, Daenerys Targaryen, Arya, Bran, and Jon Snow. And considering the way that the most recent book ended, one of those is kind of surprising. Perhaps George R.R. Martin will now shock us by rescuing a character. Probably not. The letter ends with a paragraph that's completely blacked out except for the last line, which says, "But that's for the second book." I can only imagine what George didn't want us to know. I think it's fascinating how something can change from its inception to its final product. I hope you thought that that was as interesting as I did, and be sure to share this video with your friends who like Game of Thrones because holy crap. And also there is a little red button that says subscribe, and when you push it, I've heard that you get to slap Joffrey in the face, and who doesn't want that?